Hi guys, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist channel. In this case I'm reviewing the MTE model C3-907. This flashlight has several characteristics that are desirable for the people that are into survival and preparedness. I actually first learned about Quark Mini and MTE through a forum called Practical Preparedness Forum. The guys over there were discussing what would be the all-around ideal flashlight for an affordable price, and someone mentioned Greg's products, this exact flashlight, and for 25 bucks people were extremely happy with it. In that thread they were commenting on how well it was performing, besides how good the service provided by Greg was. Greg later jumped into the thread as well, and I mean it was a good piece of information, and that's how I first learned about him, about Quark Mini and his products. So I consider this little flashlight to be the crown jewel of the MTE flashlights. And why would that be? Because it offers a bunch of features that are kind of hard to find these days, especially for that price. For 25 bucks you will be hard pressed finding a better flashlight for that amount of money. What's so desirable about this flashlight? It's very simple to use, it's rugged, the design works, it uses a single AA battery, and right now you may be thinking there are hundreds of flashlights such as this one or similar to this one. And that's correct. In fact, here I have one of those. This is almost an exact copy of it. Let's look at them closer. They are very similar, right? Extremely similar. Yet they are so very different at the same time. This one is an original MTE flashlight. Remember guys, you only get the original ones when buying directly from Greg. That's something he always insists and asks me to remind you guys. You only get original MTE flashlights buying from Quark Mini and his website www.mte-usa.com. Even if you have the same logo when buying from Deal Extreme or other places, you're not getting the original thing. The flashlight above, it's sold by Deal Extreme. Okay, it's also a single A battery flashlight, looks very similar, but it's different in quality. You see, when with some of these less quality flashlights, you hit them and they change modes. Even sometimes they turn off when just handling them. The quality in general, the finish is not as good. The knurling, it's not as good as in the MTE one. The clicky button is thicker on the MTE. It's a bit more flimsy and thinner on the Deal Extreme version. It has the O-rings and all, but I doubt it's as water resistant as the original MTE as well. The design in general of the flashlight, it's pretty good because it's compact enough to be carried in your pocket all day without being something that bothers you. Clicky button is easily accessible. The strap, comparing it to the Deal Extreme one, is bigger, better. And again, keep in mind it's 25 bucks for the original thing versus $22 for the ones you will be finding in cheaper stores or in Deal Extreme. So it really makes no sense at all, at least to me, saving $2 or $3 and getting something that doesn't even have a guarantee, while as buying from Greg directly, if there's any problem at all, Greg stands by his product. As I was saying before, it's compact enough to be carried in your pocket, and it has this sort of strike bezel, which I like because, in my opinion, it's pretty well designed, since it has a bit of an edge but it's at the same time it's shallow enough so as to not be a problem in your pockets or cutting through your pockets. So if you would be using it as an impact weapon with some basic defensive techniques, it would do okay for its size. We're still talking about a compact flashlight, so it would still do okay within its limitations. I think it's just nice to have the option of being used for striking or as pressure point use in your EDC flashlight as well. So single AA battery, which is great because it's readily available and affordable, and it has an R2 LED, has a maximum brightness of 170 lumens. Then you go to a strobe, which is great to have maximum first, strobe second in case you're using it for defensive purposes. Then you go to a medium mode, which is of 60 lumens, 30 lumens, and this would last for hours, 24 hours for sure. Then you have the strobe, the slow strobe, S.O.S, and this is sort of a beacon, and back to the maximum output of 170 lumens. Again, comparing it to some of the cheaper versions that are similar, at least on the exterior, but when you look a bit closer you will find more differences. One of the most important ones, at least for me, is, besides the quality in general, which you will be getting much better one on the MTE, is that here you have a typical lens, some plastic lens, okay, and instead on the MTE one you have that nice solid piece of plastic that it's found on also the bigger ones, the bigger models of MTE flashlights. This is a thick piece of plastic that's not going to be breaking on you, which is great because since this could possibly be used as an impact weapon because of this bezel we have here, it's just so nice to know that your lens is not going to be breaking on you when you need it. You could strike on this and it just feels solid, you know, a nice piece of plastic that's as sturdy as it could possibly get. Just one of those things that I like about the flashlight, knowing that it's rugged and resistant to abuse if it ever comes to that. And what surprises people the most, and what most people were commenting on in the Practical Preparedness forum, was how bright this little flashlight is. It's the brightest single AA battery people have come up and have found, and I have to agree with that. It's really bright for what it is, for being a single AA battery. Let me compare it. Let's go to maximum mode on the cheaper one. Looks similar, right? You may be asking yourself, what's the difference here? Let me show you so you have a better idea of what I mean exactly. Give me a second so that I remove the camera. I'm going back here and we're comparing both of them. Alright, we have this is the single AA battery by Deal Extreme. Pretty bright, decent enough. Most of the time the problem with these lights is that the quality, the build quality, the way they put them together is not that great. So you sometimes have good flashlights. I have some that are okay, but in general the build quality suffers a bit. Now let's compare it to the one by Greg McGee. Here you have both of them side by side. On the right you have the one by Greg McGee, and you clearly see the difference, one being brighter than the other. And most of all, the difference between the two of them is that the one offered by Quark Mini has much greater throw. That lens I showed you before, it concentrates the light much better. It has great throw for a single AA battery flashlight. It's amazing the amount of throw this flashlight has. Let's now compare it to the standard I have been using so far, which is the Quark Mini 123 flashlight. Remember, this is the Quark Mini 123 flashlight. This one uses a single 123 battery, and it's rated at 200 lumens. Okay, pretty bright. Now the one by Quark Mini, using a single AA battery, it's rated to 170 lumens, and you see in fact that it's clearly brighter. The Mini 123 is clearly brighter, but you have to understand here that you're using very different batteries. You're using an ordinary AA battery being compared to a lithium 123 battery, which is much more powerful. So it's still amazing that you get the amount of light you get from the little AA battery in comparison. The way it focuses the light, it's just very nice. One more time. Mini 123 and the well-focused MTE flashlight. So guys, that's gonna be it for now. Hope you enjoyed the little review, and remember to subscribe to these videos. There's gonna be more coming. Check the Modern Survivalist website as well, and join the discussions in the forums, which are going great. So that's gonna be it, guys, for now. Take care and see you on our next video.